Good afternoon, good morning on this, well, here in the UK, we have just gone 2 p.m. on this Sunday afternoon, and this is your first look. And what exactly is that, Craig? Well, it's a first look at something. Go figure on that one, eh? Who would have thought? And this one here, it's the delights of a brand new Sara Signature box. Now, we say that it's a first look. You know, yes, I'll be having a little bit of a look at it, but then we'll want to see what you can do with it. Well, of course, it's the one. It's Debbie's going to be doing it.
Yes, we can't wait to get delved into everything and this gorgeous collection, which is not actually out right now.
No.
It'll be released later on the week. Craig will tell you all about that in a little while. But yeah, it's all about the love. We're spreading the love here at Crafters TV. We're going to give you that sneaky peek into it. Perhaps you've already seen it, maybe, or possibly somewhere else, but it is officially the first look at it today here at Crafters TV in anticipation for that fabulous launch that's coming up later on the week with, of course, the one and only Sara. It's one of her collections in a box form, so we're really excited. I know I am. I can't wait to get down in it, Craig, because it's absolutely gorgeous, and I know our Craig's going to just tell you absolutely everything that's in that box, and then we'll throw in a demo or two for you this afternoon.
We will indeed, for sure. Now, you don't have to wait too long. This will be launching on Wednesday, the 25th. It's going to be launching with Ben and Sara, as Debbie was saying. So, yeah, not that long to go when it comes to the brand new box. However, we will be having a look at that throughout the show. But, you know, do get your comments in. We've got Rachel back on the comments for now. So, if there is anything you want to ask or that, then feel free, send them across, either, of course, via YouTube or Facebook, and any questions I will send to Debbie. But then you can always have a look on our website as well, with the exception of Sent with Love. You're going to find so many items, as well as what Debbie was showing earlier within that kind of glue school. And also later on, we've got our Second Chance Sunday coming up, where we'll have a look at everything that's been very, very popular throughout the week. So those items you can be looking at on Shop the Day, crafterscompanion.co.uk.com or .eu. But we have got Peg is in saying hi, good morning from Indiana. We've also got Michelle Nitz is in saying morning all. We've got Jane Adams is saying good morning from a super cold Las Vegas. You don't often hear about Las Vegas being cold. Well, I don't anyway.
No.
Never think about Vegas being cold.
I always think of it being hot, sunny all the time.
Yeah.
Judging by the American TV shows that are out there, I always think of hot and sunny all year long.
Snap, yeah, I do. And as Charlotte just said as well, we've got Charlotte in the gallery, we've got Jake just outside, but Charlotte was saying, you think of Vegas, you think of the desert, don't you? So you think of the heat, but clearly not. We've got Zoe Carver from the UK saying hello from West Sussex, and we've also got Leslie Day saying good morning from San Diego. Sent with Love. This brand new signature collection brought from Sara. This one here is giving you over 230 elements. You can make a minimum of 12 cards. Now, this all includes your card blanks. Now, you've got 4x6 with the envelopes, 4 of them. You've got 6x6, 4 of them. You've also got your 5x7, you're getting 4 of them. But then what you're going to be getting when it comes to the pattern papers, the most glorious papers. Now you can see within these florals here, you've got that love theme that runs out, but you've got edge to edge floral, so you can be using them elsewhere. You're getting 24 sheets, you're getting 8 designs, and you're getting 3 of each. You're also then going to be getting your 8x8 colour cardstock, 24 sheets within this one, 6 colours and 4 of each. Now you can see the colour tones that run all the way through. You're also getting 6 of your metal charms here, so you're going to get 3 designs and then 2 of each. Then look at the gorgeous satin ribbon that you're also getting. Now when it comes to the satin ribbon, you're getting 3 of these ones, a red, a blue and a pink. Then we're going to have a look at the stamp sets here. You've got 13 acrylic stamps, all about love and sending with love, sent with love. That's included here. Then we're also going to give you some of your metal dies as well. So you've got 22 metal dies. You've got a heart 3D embossing folder that is then 4x6. We've got a panel stencil you can start to ink through. We've also got our Je t'aime stencil as well, that's 4x4. We've then got 8x8 white cardstock, 8 of that. We've then got 8 of your craft card as well. And then we have got 100 self-adhesive gems, 3 different sizes. You've got them in red, you've got them in blue, you've got them in silver as well. Gorgeous collection that Debbie's away to show us what we can do with it.
I'm going to show you some of the favourite, well, my favourite pieces from this collection. I'm going to start with the metal dies and the stamps as well. Now, I'm just going to explain a little bit about some of these elements. They can work independently on their own or join them together. So, with example, with our stamps, this lovely big decorative art that's got this gorgeous swirly pattern in, you can absolutely die cut your piece out and then stamp into that die cut because it's been perfectly measured to fit inside there. The same applies with the envelope. I'm going to show you this envelope because it has its matching die, as well as all the extra additional items. You've got a matching die that sits over the top that's got like an open pocket feature, which I'm going to show you in a second. But again, you can see you've got your rose with the stem, you've got the die, so you know fussy cutting needed. You've got things in here to make tags, frames, postage stamps, lots of lovely love hearts, all the foliage for the rose. You've got the word love, a lovely cutout art, different styles of hearts as well, and lots of other pieces on there, including some nice sentiments. And then you've got your little airmail stamp as well as your postage mark. So some really lovely pieces that work together or work separately depending on how you want to use them. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of the patterned cardstock. I've chopped a little bit down, so out of that 8x8 piece I've chopped some down, and I'm going to use this stamp first. And what we're going to do is we're going to stamp directly onto there. So I'm just going to bring in, just for a second, my stamping mat and platform, and we'll place that on and ink it up, and then I'm going to stamp into that piece of patterned cardstock. So taking my ink, let's go directly in, and then I'm going to just stamp directly onto there. Make sure that's got a good coverage. And then when I've lifted that off, you can see it stamps that out lovely. But what I'm then away to do is I'm going to take that metal die and I'm going to run that over the top. And you'll see that it fits absolutely perfectly into there. Hold that down with some low tack tape, and then we're going to run that through our Gemini. So I'm going to just take that, hold it down, and run it into our machines. So if we just put all those pieces together, and then run that in, and then I'll show you that lovely open design where it means you can actually put things that are on your stamp set or on your die set into the envelopes. Lovely feature, a really nice addition to this collection. And then take that out so that you can see when we take it off, you have your envelope with this open flap. So it means that you can actually put things inside there, which we'll do that in a moment. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of these smaller dies on here. So you've got all these lovely love hearts. I'm going to take a selection of a few of them. There's quite a lot on this collection, actually. In fact, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that I can see, 7, 8 love hearts that you can use. I'm just going to use just a few to die cut, and then we're going to do also the postage stamp piece as well. So I'm going to take this piece and then these as well. I'm going to pop those onto it again, taking all that cardstock from that collection, including the white cardstock because that's in your kit as well. So I'm going to just pop some low tack tape down onto there. Let's make sure that stays stuck and not moving around. In fact, tell you what, I'll do a couple rather than trying to get all 3 on there. And then run that through our Gemini. And again, thin metal dies, so your normal combination of your platform with your Gemini. Let's push that in. Let me just make sure I've got that on, not moving anywhere. There we go. And then when we come out, we're going to do a little bit of stamping as well. Let's just take that off. Because this die, which I absolutely love, creates the postage stamp, but you can actually use the waste part as well to stamp onto, and then you've got all these lovely additional love hearts as well that I'm going to just push to one side. Let's take those out. And using that cardstock, you can cut it out in your pattern cardstock, in your pattern papers, and stamp into them. There's lots of things that you can do with those. But when I just move those, I'll just show you, with that stamp set, take your rose and I can just pop that into there and stamp into it, and then of course colour into it. And I'm just going to bring in the one that I've already done so you can see how you can use that waste part by adding in the stamp. And I've just coloured this in with our colouring Spectrum Raw colouring mediums and then inked around the edges, but that then can sit firmly back into there to create your own little personalised stamp. And then you've got all these love hearts. I've die cut quite a few so you can see there's a few in there, including that lovely open art. So if I bring that in just for a second, so the open art, a lovely patterned heart that you're going to be able to use. There's the love word on there as well, so we've got the love. Again, just stamp that out. I just ran mine through a Xyron and just popped it on a Xyron sheet ready to put together. But you can start to build up your pieces. With one of the love hearts, I've cut it in white but added the sending a little part to this, and then inked around the edges using our water reactive colours just around the edge to give it a little bit of a distress look. So there's all my elements all ready to go. What I'm going to do is bring in, because you've got the card blanks in your kit, including all of the papers as well. So what I've done with this, and to make mine go a little bit further, I actually took out the centre part, because you're not going to see that, to use for all the elements that I've got here. So you're getting more out of your collection. So I'm just going to literally now build up the layers and build the card together. And then we're going to place that on. I've taken the patterned paper as well. Absolutely glorious. Difficult choice there is which side do you use, but I'm going to go with that gorgeous rose red theme there. Suitable for any occasion. Suitable for Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, anything that you want to send with a little bit of love behind. Again, I've just taken some more just to add some little dimension to the centre of my card. So I'm going to come in with a little panel in that centre, including this panel. And then we're just going to add, just for decoration parts, we'll pop this into the centre. And then we'll start to place on all of our pieces. So if I just switch my glues, I'm going to just pop that onto the side. Get my little sending a little bit of glue just onto the bottom. And I'm going to tuck that inside. Let's make sure I've got that inside there without everything moving. There we go. And then I'm going to pop on my postage piece around with the surround, like so, and then just simply decorate some of the hearts around, and the word love. Let's put that word love going across the envelope, like so. And then I'm just going to decorate now just a little bit of the hearts. We can place the hearts all the way around just to give that little decorated feature, and literally send a little bit of love to someone in our lives.
And there we go. And that's come from Sara's Signature Sent with Love box, where you can make an array of cards and projects with over 230 elements.
Right, we'll stick and finish on a little bit down, Craig, because I realised that I used my wiggle glue, didn't I? And I've not managed to position everything. So I'm just going to stick that back down. There we go, that's better. And just finish that off. So
there's something cute about having a wee envelope like that within the stamp and die.
Do you know what? I absolutely love that addition where you can actually tuck it inside. And you don't just have to tuck one, you can tuck quite a few into there as well, which is what I absolutely, I adore them. I adore this collection. I don't know about you, Craig, but when I first saw it, I was like, oh yes. We've been crying out for something like this.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's just beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. So I'm just going to pop those back on There we go. And I'm not going to lie, I absolutely love this postage stamp die. I think it is
cool.
so cute. It's really lovely. I really do love this one.
I think with that one, it would work well. And I know there's a big size difference, but you know that postage stamp die within vintage butterflies?
Yes.
You know, your,
I like
your
that.
monarch butterfly.
Yeah.
But anyway, that one that has that big kind of postage stamp die, going to work well, 2 different sizes.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just going to lift underneath because I think I might have stuck a little bit of glue. I think I put my glue in the wrong area there, but let's just pop another little love heart in there. But that's the lovely thing about this collection. There's so many elements that you can really, you know, I mean, look, the hope and art, the solid hearts, they're just glorious. And do you know what I didn't finish it off with? Which I completely forgot about. Got all the gorgeous gems.
The gems, yeah, no, that's it. You've got 100 of them.
I know, and I love the colours of these as well. And it's just those little finishing touches for me. I think this is just, I don't know about you, but I love this collection.
It's beautiful.
Pardon the pun. I love this collection. It really is absolutely phenomenal. All the elements just work so well together.
Well, that's it, yeah.
And I love the idea as well that some of these matching stamps that will fit in. So you could pop those inside the little love hearts as well. There's just so much of this that I think you're going to absolutely love. Now it's stuck down, I feel a little bit better. There, I can hold it up now. So you can see it a little bit clearer, but everything just works so beautifully, as you would expect with a Sara Signature collection.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Everything works incredibly well. Everything colour matched, from the ribbons to the gems to the patterned papers to the cardstock. And we've even thrown in that collection some craft card and white cardstock to get yourself stamping with, and all the other things that you want to do with it. It's just absolutely glorious. I love it.
And that's
absolutely love it.
As you said, having those 2 already included as well. So going with the white, going for that nice fresh look. But then if you want to go more of that darker route, that, you know, kind of vintage look if you want to, with the craft, you can absolutely do that. And it is, of course, included. But let's just spend just a wee moment having a look at the pattern papers in a wee bit more detail. Because as I was saying, they are 8x8. But then look at that one there. That's going to work well with many collections you've already got, whether they're floral or not. But then you've maybe got something that's going with that woodwork effect. Maybe it is that craft work. You've then got within this side here, you've got your wood panels, that you've got more of those green tones. Then when it comes to the florals, once again, with the roses, and I'm loving as well, Debbie, is you've got reds, you've got pinks, but then you've got peaches as well. Yeah. Then you've got more of a lilac within some of them. Some of them you've got more of that ruby red as well. So you've got your different tones that run throughout, whether it is your pinks, your reds, maybe your greens. That one there, you know, I'm thinking about your clear highlight pens, your sparkle highlights, anything like that. Glossy highlights would work well, overlay would work well, double-sided once again. Now some of them, if you can see within that one now, you've got your polka dots, but then within that one there, you've got more of that flat colour. Gives you a faux embossed look, but then we're going in with this one, whereas again, it's that edge-to-edge sort of feel when it comes to the design. But remember, with these being 24 sheets, you're getting 8 designs, and then you're going to be getting 3 of each. So you've got choices, more of that panel that you can see here, but within the reds here, there we've got our mints and our teals that run through with that red. Then on the back, more of that woodwork. But then that woodwork that is a different colour from the first one that I showed you. Let's go through just a few more so you can see. Now with your browns, that browns focusing on that backdrop is what's then pulled through to the opposite side with, of course, your polka dots and your reds. I mean, it really is a beautiful, beautiful collection. Whether you're going to use them with maybe your little memory books, maybe your 8x8 memory books, you can do that, of course. Fold backs work a treat, because if I take this one here, I'm not going to fold it back completely, but then if I just get that one and then twist it back on itself, that's why they work so well together. But then this sheet would work well with your top sheet. It's going to mix and match. And then last but by no means least, I mean that one there. So once again, some of the florals, you've got more of those subtler, small floral heads. This one here, you've got more of that bold, that open. It's more of like a peony sort of feel with the rose that runs throughout. And then once again, got more of that sort of like wine ruby colour there. And I'm not going to go through each of these ones because you can see the colour straight off of our board here. But then once again, these are 8x8. I love how all of our cardstock, when it comes to things such as your Sara Signature, are matte, so you can tear them, you can distress them, you can ink them, you can spritz them. These ones, once again, 24 sheets, you are getting 6 colours, and then you're going to get 4 of each with these ones here. So that as a whole when it comes to the collection. It is, of course, a first look, so it's going to be launching this Wednesday. So Wednesday the 25th, and it's also going to be launching with, of course, Sara. Sara and Ben, they're going to have that proper official launch. What I would say is please keep in mind, like you will do with most days, I don't know if I think Debbie would agree with me, if this is catching your eye, wake-up call on Wednesday.
Yes, and I think Corinne's with it on wake-up call, because Corinne was talking about it yesterday. So excited. I've got the craft along with it next month, so I'm even more excited. But yes, she can't wait. So she's been working on her projects for the wake-up call, because we do predict a little bit of a riot.
I do.
Sometimes one of Sara's signature collections, for me, it's not about a specific theme. It's that just because feeling, which is what you get with this box. Sending something to someone just because, rather than happy birthday, or rather than an anniversary, is sometimes that really right. And this kit, I think, covers not only those occasions, but that just because sentiment. When you want to show someone a little bit of love, that one, for me, is just absolutely perfect, and a very welcome addition to the Sara Signature collection. The papers are exquisite. I was joking with Corinne yesterday. I said, I'm going to be hammering on Sara and Leanne's door. We need a big paper pad. We need some kind of a digi-download format, something, because those papers are stunning. But it's a gorgeous box. The elements in there, the embossing folder, which I've got. I'm going to do a little bit of quick letterpress technique to show you how gorgeous that is. It's going to be perfect for all those things, maybe just a panel, maybe a triptych style kind of card. There's just a ton of things. And I'll tell you something, I have had a little sneak peek of what Sara's going to be making, because she shared some pictures with us, didn't she, the other day? And they're absolutely beautiful. So I can't wait for the official launch. Sara's going to be beyond containing. You know how excited she gets about these launches.
She does.
And when it's one of her own, that she's come up with that idea and that concept, I know she's going to be, you know, she's like a kid at Christmas.
She is.
I think that's why she's taking a few days off. I think she's getting herself geared up, ready.
Getting it.
Ready for getting started.
Ready for it. All the sent with love. We've got, and actually Shadiah says it really well, when this collection, well, asking when it does, and as they're saying, it is on Wednesday, it's going to fly out like hotcakes out of an oven. I'm pretty sure it will do. Yeah, it will do. We do have a few comments coming through, but I think if you're all right, Debbie, we'll see what else you can do.
Oh, of course.
Are you ready, or do you want me to do
just a couple of seconds? I'll just be a minute. Yeah, just a couple of seconds, and I will. Yeah, definitely. Absolutely.
Yeah, we've got, well, should I say, and why wait till Wednesday when you're showing it today? Exactly that, it's a first look. It's giving you that first look, because we know not everyone wants every collection and product that we bring out, although by the looks of it, you're all wanting this one. Now, it's a good way as well for you to, I know many of you say, you know, you try and decide what you want and, you know, when's it going to come out so you can budget well for it. This is a good way of doing the first look as well. Let you know that, yes, it's coming out on Wednesday. We are, you know, we're all in that same boat. We're coming to the end of the month as well, you know, where, you know, January feels like it's had, you know, 1,000 days in it already. It's been such a long month, and many of us as well, we've gone from maybe that 5 or 6 week payday. So it's a nice way just to get that first look, see if it is something that you want. If you need to budget, you're able to do that really well. And then, as I say, certainly from so many of you, we've got, well, Donna saying, I would love them to do it in a 12x12 pad. You know, that's one of the things I know Debbie's been at Leanne's office door about. We've also got Jean Marie is saying, waiting for it to be shown on the website, as this is going to be a must-have. Donna saying the papers are beautiful. We've got Dorothy's actually saying hi from Texas. Hi to you too. Then we've got Emma Bailey is saying, we'll definitely mix this. Debbie.
Yes. What?
Spot on, Emma. This is going to work well with your Sara Signature Letter from the Hearts.
Oh, yes.
Isn't it just?
Yeah, I never thought of that.
Team. Neither had I.
Never thought of that.
Neither had I.
I think I need to delve. Now, where
in.
did I put that collection?
I know where mine is.
I know where mine is, yes, because I've got 2 Sara Signature drawers.
Do you want me to?
Do you too?
Yeah.
2 Sara Signature drawers, and then a Christmas one. So there's actually 3. So there's the 2, and then I've got a Nature's Garden one. Where, well, I said 1, 2, because the Nature's Garden just keeps growing and growing and growing, especially with the addition of the new one. But yeah. Well, great minds think alike. That's what it is. We're crafters. We think like crafters. We do things so similar. It's quite scary.
We do. Yeah, we do.
Me and Jan have often said this. Me and Jan have often said we'd be given a set of products to work with together, come back and we'd have the same project. We're like, whoa, what's going off there?
Yeah.
A little bit weird, but it's true, isn't it?
It is
you get
true.
Gorgeous collections. It's easy to get creative with, but it's uncanny sometimes how closely we work side by side and think as well. So, although I do take some inspiration from our gorgeous Craigie.
Vice versa.
Bless you.
Vice versa. Of course I do, absolutely. Always, on many, many occasions, I certainly do. Terry Anderson, another good call as well. The Advent calendar from 2021 has the love hearts that would work very well with this box. Yes, it would. Think about, once again, your other collections, previous Advent calendars, maybe it's stamp dies from other companies. Start to bring them in for sure. And a lot of love for that last demonstration that Debbie done as well. Jane saying, oh, that's nice. And we've now got our Susie on the social, and she's saying, so pretty, Debbie, which it really, really was. Anything else that you're wanting to ask? Maybe there's a specific question or that. Just to say again, this does launch on Wednesday, this Wednesday the 25th, with Sarah and Ben. So do tune in to Wake Up Call with Corin and Ben to get that first look when it comes to the actual, well, first look and where you can actually purchase it on Wednesday.
Yes. Yeah.
Debbie, if you're ready.
I am, yeah.
All yours.
Yeah. So I'm going to start with, I mean, where do you start? It's just difficult because there's so much loveliness. I'm going to use the embossing fold with this, but I am going to bring in that lovely stamp again. That beautiful rose stamp. I absolutely love this. I don't know what it is about this rose, but it just reminds me of a certain Disney film. And I adore this rose. I think it's absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to stamp this first. So I'm going to use some of the cardstock. Of course, if you've got a lot of cardstock in your collection, you can be stamping it onto things like your Nina cardstock.
You could.
And then colouring in as well. So you could make that go that little bit further should you need to. Now then, what did I do with the said cardstock? Do you know, I think I get worse with age, Craig.
Disappeared.
Just bear with me, it disappeared.
Yeah, no
I
problem.
thought I had it at the side of me. However, I think I'm just going to have to cut into a little piece. Let me bring my scissors in.
It's a lovely
we'll cut
rose
in.
stamp.
But honestly, this collection, it is just glorious. And when I saw my name at the side of the side of the craft along, I'm not going to lie, a little bit of excitedness came out of me because it's just glorious. Now, the stamp itself has its own die. So, of course, with that, it does mean that it makes it a little bit easier. But taking from, as I did say, get some inspiration from our lovely Craig, I'm going to place the die over the top, and then we're going to run that through the die cutting machine. There's a lot of dies in this collection that will fit through your smaller ones.
Well.
Obviously, some of them are bigger than the platform of 3x6, so you will need a bigger machine for that. And I say bigger, I only mean like by, you know, your junior size. Not too much. There you go. So I'm just going to run that through.
Well, I think, Debbie, there's only 2, so you've got 22 dies, and you've got to quickly show, because that envelope and then kind of like that Polaroid die, they're really the only 2 that you would need your larger machine. All the other ones, I would believe, are small enough to go through your mini. So, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, perfect,
That's really good to know.
Absolutely. So I'm just going to take this off. We'll do a spot of quick colouring. The thing is with this stamp is that it's not a massive stamp in terms of you're going to be spending hours colouring. So you can just simply take, I'm going to take my tri-blends because I do love my tri-blends. And we'll go in and we'll do a spot of colouring because we've got plenty of time with this first look. So let's go in and colour up our stamp. Oh, Craig, I think someone's been using this one. It's nearly out.
Is it starting to dry out?
It is. It's starting to go. Oh, dear. Mind you, I think it's one of those colours that we do use a lot of. Let me see if the brush one is there. We're going to have to get our Jakey onto that one for us. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll bring in this Classique. We'll go in with a Classique and colour that in. That'll do.
It's dotting about.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we might need to mention to Tracy, Jake and John that the tri-blend in the red is on its last legs.
I think it's the same though for a lot of our water reactive. I can't remember who it was the other week were saying I think we need to get some new ones from the warehouse because we use them that much.
Well, that's the thing. We are here 7 days a week, 3 shows every single day for live for the majority of the year, with the exception of the Christmas New Year week.
That's it, yeah.
And we all use them. And then don't forget we do prep, and sometimes we do our prep at home, but sometimes we do some prep in the studio as well. So things like your colours and your inks tend to be the ones that absolutely do go first. So yes, and Corinne got me yesterday, she got me, she changed it up for me with the pink tulip, because the pink tulip was like non-existent. You couldn't even see it, Craig.
That's the one that Jan was having issues with the other day we were on together. Yeah,
so our lovely Corinne fetched me a new one. So we've got a new one in the studio. So hopefully that will resolve that problem. But yeah, we do need to get onto the guys in terms of some of the inks that need replacing. But isn't it a beautiful stamp? It's really lovely. I absolutely adore this one. And the reason that I did like what Craig had often recommended to me when I was having trouble with certain things was, stamp, die cut, and then colour, so that you're not wasting any time. Although, to be fair, there's not a, it's not an overly sized one, so you could get away with that. But always on the safe side, that's the way that we would recommend to you. So I'm just going to colour in those areas.
And this is one that I think would work as well if you were start to bring your masking sheets in.
Yes.
So, maybe even just have 3 side by side, but masked over the top, just to the side of each other.
To have a bunch.
And that's it, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got so many ideas running around my head for the craft along. I can't tell you. I'm beyond excited to have got it, so I just need a bit of time. I'm working from home next week, so that'll be nice, so I can ponder and have a little play with this collection, because I tell you something, it's gonna fly, this one. It's gonna absolutely fly. So again, you can see now that lovely rose didn't take too long to get that look, or that achieved look, but that's just one element. Coming in when I was talking about the embossing folder, this is an embossing folder that does a 2x7.
Okay.
So it's a really nice panel one, but I'm going to use it slightly differently, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to die cut some hearts. I'll tell you something about this one. I never even realised, Craig, that it was positioned to fit in perfectly in that stamp.
Oh, I didn't know that either, Debbie.
Yeah, so there's the areas, so that could be a lovely background. You could use that as on background paper and things like that, but you could also use it inside your heart.
Yeah.
And then there's other things that you could pop in there. So you could use the little hearts inside the little hearts and create a nice little patterned effect as well. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to die cut some of these, and I'm going to use various different sizes. So let's go in and pop quite a few.
I like, actually, and I'm just looking at our boards here, and you can see it on your red cardstock there, Debbie, that larger heart, it's quite a thick, chunky die-cut outline. Yeah.
Yes, it is, yeah. I always want to verge on like a multimedia die, because it is quite a nice deep ridge. So for terms of cutting out cardstock and thicker cardstock, I think that would be able to go through. And when you look at it, let's just take it into consideration with this one here. You can see that deeper ridge. I think it's quite visible in that die.
You can see it there.
But yes, so let's pop a couple of those in. Of course, what you could be doing is, if you want to create a little bit of a nesting effect, is you can go inside and create some different panels as well. Although, to be fair, this one, and this is the one that will cut out not just one heart, but 2, and I'm going to show you why this one is a little bit tad special. So not only will it fit that love heart inside it, this is the one that will create you, and good reason that I'm using this, because I'm going to create it in my demo, creates 2. So inside, I'm saying 2. One, yeah, 2. The thin heart with the open piece, and the centrepiece that's not waste. But yeah, you can absolutely, and then you can, like I said, create more in there as well. So really lovely addition to that die set. I love that you've got different styles of hearts as well, different sizes of hearts. There's one of the dies on here as well. If I just show you, this one actually cuts out little mini hearts, but it actually cuts into the cardstock. So that itself will create a nice few little tiny hearts, but also create a lovely little open piece into your cardstock. So if you want to decorate round box edges, panels and things like that, or simply go across that big die, absolutely perfectly. So let's run that one through as well. So I've got quite a few elements. While I've got my plate out, I am going to bring in, let's go in with this one. The love hearts on stems. I think that's a really pretty one as well. Shall we have the word? Well, I'll tell you what, I'll come back to those in a second. Let's go in and hold those down. And then I'll show you that big heart, why that one's a really quite a nice one.
Nice one, yeah.
Yeah. Have you played with this yet, Craig?
Sorry?
Have you had a chance to play with this
I've not
collection
played
yet?
with it yet. I've got it.
Yeah?
But I've not played with it yet. And actually, similar to yourself, Debbie, I've got quite a few days coming up where I'm working from home and doing a lot of prep from home. So, yeah, that might be one that I'll need to have a little bit of a play with.
Yes,
as well.
yeah, it's just beautiful.
It does look good.
So when I take those off now, you'll see the solid hearts, as I described just a second ago. So you've got some nice solid pieces. So I've lifted that one up. That one I absolutely adore. I love the style of that heart. And then the smaller one. But this one, so from the big one there, let me just move that to one side. What this actually creates is those two pieces, which I absolutely love.
I do.
And then, like I said, with that stamp will fit inside the love heart itself.
Well.
So it's really lovely, a beautiful addition. Again, just there's some lovely dies in here that I've not seen before, and I really, really love them. And I love love hearts. You can never have too many, I don't think.
Hearts and butterflies, you can never have too many.
Exactly. As a crafter, we never have too many of anything, Craig. Nope. But yeah, just absolutely gorgeous. So I'll put all those back on in a second. So I've got myself some shoots. I've actually cut out quite a few because for this particular one, I'm gonna really heart it up, as you do. And again, with these solid ones, what I'm going to do now is just push those to one side. I'm going to take that embossing folder. Love this embossing folder. As with anything, if you saw the masterclass embossing folder special we did, there's lots of things you can do with embossing folders, from letterpress technique, cutting it out in different coloured cardstock, using your gilding wax, your gilding flakes, your glitters, a ton of things that you can do with them. Let me go in with that big one. I wonder if we can squeeze that on there. Might be able to, yeah, get that in. So, but yeah, there's lots of things you can do with them. And of course, you could then take your plain love hearts and create a nice embossed feature. Now then, if I remember rightly, it's a 3D, isn't it, Craig?
It is indeed,
yes,
yeah.
Thank you. Just wanted to double check. It's because you can feel the difference between a 3D to a what I call a standard embossing folder. So with any of our 3D folders, you change the combination up to your cutting plate, magnetic shim and plastic shim in order to accommodate for the thicker plastic. You have to reduce the shim size. So that's how you would create your 3D effect, using your 3D folders. But what you've got now is these gorgeous hearts that I've then embossed. Now, what I would say is don't be tempted to emboss your cardstock and then use the dies, because if you do that, you'll squash the embossing. If you run it back through with a die, it'll flatten the embossing detail. Of course, you could then do extra oomph, shall we call it, by adding gilding waxes or gilding flakes, or your inks back over the top. But I quite like them like that. You can see that lovely love heart. So I'm going to keep them as they are. And then I've used, again, let's take, because I absolutely love this die. I'm not going to use the stamp this time. Well, actually, I am going to use the stamp. Yeah, we'll use the stamp. Yeah. Let's go back. Yeah, let's go back in and take that stamp.
What I'm thinking as well, Debbie, is okay, yeah, we're saying the papers and the dies and that will work with other collections, but that folder you've just shown, that's going to work really well, sit perfectly side by side your panel embossing folders.
Yep.
You know, where you've got, well, it's 9 packs, it's giving you 18 folders. Well, now 19 if you want to include the heart in with it.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
think where else it's going to work.
Absolutely. So what I'm going to do first, and I find this method, can I just move all my bits out of the way, Craig, because I know what I'm like. If I don't, I'll end up sticking to bottom of things and then I'll end up all over. But yeah, what I love about this and why I prefer this method is sometimes to die cut and then stamp into can be difficult to line up. So I would always say do the stamping part first. So if I come in with my stamping platform, let's turn that the right way around, and then we're going to ink onto there. So I'll tell you what, I'll bring in this ink pad. Let's do this one again.
Already for me, I've got so many ideas in which
You've got lots running around your head.
Certainly that envelope stamp alone.
Yes. You can multiple. I mean, we'll show some amazing samples. Do you have the samples with you, Craig? Have I got them? Yeah.
I've got some down here.
Yeah, we'll show those amazing samples. Don't worry about the little bit. Actually, it makes it look quite nice, actually. A little bit distressed. Going for a little distressed look. But that's just because I didn't put enough pressure, apply enough pressure. I find it easier to do it this way around, Craig. You'll all probably find a way that works for yourself better, but I prefer the stamping method and then die cutting into it. So you just line it up, and then make sure that's
Michelle Knit is actually saying, good, yeah, it's a good call as well. You can make bouquets with that rose, and it's going to work really well with your pop-up vase collection.
Yeah. Oh, Michelle's
go.
coming out with all the ideas. Yes, like that, Michelle. Are they loving the collection? That's what I'm itching to know. Is everybody
Absolutely
loving
this?
it?
Dorothy G is saying, love this collection. Michelle is also saying, my thoughts exactly about the hearts and butterflies. We've also got Shaddai saying the intricacy of those tiny hearts are so lovely, impressive. Rosalind's actually saying, I like to stamp first to use as a template for my die.
Oh,
good call.
yeah.
Really good call. Charlotte Everett is saying, I've got so much sorting out to do. I'm running out of space, but these boxes are so beautiful. I like to have them on my trolley as they look nice.
Yeah, and I absolutely love this bit here, because that means you can put anything inside there from your flowers. So you could pop, like you've just said, pop in a bunch of the flowers in there, I think is a really nice idea as well. And I think that's what I'm going to do with that, since I've got the extra one. But what we'll do is we'll start to put together our cards. So I've taken, now in the card pack, please excuse me, it's been battered. Don't know how I've managed to do that, but I have. You have a card that measures 6 by 6. So all I've done with it, Craig, is I've took our scoreboard and scored an extra score line in at 3 inches to have what we call a fold back card.
Okay.
Of course, if you turn it this way, like we've often demonstrated, it can then become what we call a reversed easel as well. So you can have a nice reversed easel card on there. And of course, that would be the start of a double Z fold card as well, because that's the fold that we're looking with. Yeah. So but for that in mind, I think I'm going to go in with, now then, shall I reverse them? No, stick with your plan. Stick with your plan, Debbie. Stick with the plan. Right, so we've got our chosen card stock. Now, what I've done with the stamp is I've stamped Love You to the moon and back. Do you know, I say that to my kids all the time.
Do you?
And my grandkids. Yeah. Love you to the moon and back. It's one of my sayings. It's almost like that saying was meant for me. But I've actually used, you know that pattern stamp? I've just used it and gone over the top of the pattern paper. Again, that's what you can be doing. Now, what I am going to do is I want to make sure I'm not wasting all my cardstock. So, and I've just realised I've left me paper trimmer in, typical, in the boot of my car. So I'll grab my craft knife.
But you just saying that there a minute ago about that sentiment and how you can say it to, obviously, your kiddies and the grandkiddies as well. That goes to show, you know, thinking straight off the bat, you're thinking of Valentine's, sent with love, aren't you? With all the love, the roses and that. But then if you've got something that you say a lot, that stamp, that sentiment, then it's going to go far and beyond the Valentine love sort of feel to it. It's going to work with the birthdays and the celebrations, or just because you want to send them a card or a project saying, you know, you love them loads.
Right, so in terms of the sizes, all I've done, because I know that that's a 6 by 6 base, I've gone down to 5 3/4 by 5 3/4, and the pattern cardstock I've gone to 5 1/2 by 5 1/2 in terms of me measuring, so that I get the perfect mat and layer and the perfect frame there. Now, I couldn't find my craft knife any more than I could find my paper trimmer, so I've had to use a solid piece. What I would say is, because you're using a wet glue on this particular one, if you did see the glue school, we talked about adding rigidity to your cards, especially with your papers and things like that. You can do that gutting, because the glue itself will give the cards stability.
It well, won't it?
So yeah, so you can do that gutting. Don't think that you're going to be taking away from the rigidity of your card, because you won't. But I'm just going to pop that onto there. I've then taken the same paper, using from that same sheet. Now, I know that this is 3 by 6, so my mat and layer for this one is 2 3/4 by 5 3/4, and that's 5 1/2 by 2 1/2 to create that panel and fitting into there perfectly as well. I don't know about you, Craig, but these papers, there's just something about them. I adore them. Absolutely. I think, do you know what I think it might be? I mean, I love flowers anyway, but I think it's the colours and the texture and the layering that's involved. And then, of course, double-sided as well.
With that woodwork.
Oh, yes.
That, for me, is what's lovely as well.
Absolutely. So I'm just going to come in with my mat and my layer.
And what's also equally going to be lovely, if that's not a tease enough, just after the launch of this collection here, and I don't mean on the same day, but I mean a few days after, you may see a certain 12 by 12 Floribunda paper pad launching. And that is then going to take, if you love these papers, you're going to love Floribunda, or if you love Floribunda, then you're going to love these ones here. And that's when you can start to take it bigger.
I need to get some of those. I think I might be placing an order tomorrow.
You do, yes.
So this square panel is going to act as the part of that's going to be stuck to the front panel of my Z Folk card. So what I'm going to do is, this is 4 1/4 by 4 1/4, and this is 4 by 4. All I've done with this is I've just turned it over to create another little background piece. Are you all right over there, Craig? Have you been splashing? You have, haven't you? He's been splashing, so he's managed to splash and splatter his coffee, or tea, sorry. Is it tea?
No, it is coffee, actually.
It is coffee,
yeah, for a change.
all over himself.
Yeah.
I just saw yourself wiping yourself down. I thought, what's he done? What has he done?
It's all right, it's not on my T-shirt. Not that it would matter, but, you know, here's me just ending up with a big coffee stain on my T-shirt.
We've still got another show to do after this one, Craig. You can't. Otherwise, you'll be delving back home if you haven't got a spare change over here. Now, with my my little envelope, and this is when, again, you could be doing multiple envelopes, so we could have actually a couple of... In fact, you know what? I think that's what we're going to do. I think I'm going to have 2 envelopes on there. We'll change it up a little bit. I love, do you know, I have plans like this, Craig. I don't know about yourself, but I start with a plan and then it goes straight out of the window.
Out the window, it goes.
So I'm going to add one on. I've got this on foam pad, so I can actually get away with this. The only difference that I've done with this one in the foreground is I've used ice grey just to go around the edges to give it a little bit more of lift. So I'm going to pop those on there. I think what I'll have in this one is my 2 roses, or shall I have 1 rose in there, 1 rose? No, let me just have a little play. Have I got plenty of time to play, Charlotte? Because that's okay, because I'm chopping and changing things yet again.
Your mind. I am, and I'm just looking.
Yes.
Because I don't know if I can say this.
What are you going to say?
But I'm going to say it.
What are you going to say?
If you really want the Floribunda paper pad.
No. It's not. It's not.
It is.
No.
It is.
Well, then I'll place my order tonight. In fact, after this show, I'm going to place my order.
It's live on the website.
Is it?
Yep.
Craig, you'll be getting shots.
I will be.
You will. Now, I'm going to take... Now, where's my little love gone? So, die cut the word love, but I've die cut it in this same patterned paper. So, I'm going to use my fine tip applicator for this one, just because it's a little bit more delicate, and I don't want to, because I know what I'm like, I'm a little bit heavy-handed with things, but I'm going to come in with, there we go, and just place that over the front of my envelope.
I love that definition between the 2 envelopes.
Yeah, there's lovely into it. So that's just because it's just raised, plus it's just added that extra little, you know, with the ice grey, which I know you absolutely love.
I do.
I'm going to add some of the, and let me grab my 3D Collal glue for this. Actually, I'm going to stick this down onto the front part of my panel. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue just onto here, because that's going to centralise. So I'm not going to stick it all the way down. I'm just going to pop it across the front panel like so. So I'm going to pop a couple of strips of glue. Of course, you could be more measured by measuring where you're placing it, but I'm going to centralise that into the centre part of that square to give me some focus on there. Pop that down. And then we'll start to add a few other little pieces as well. So again, let me just show you as well. You could place so that that could go into that corner and really make that pop that little bit more. So that's what I'm going to do with that one. I had a different plan, but I have changed my demo up slightly to what I initially planned to do. But that's the beautiful thing about this. I don't think you have to, you know, if you batch make, it's absolutely fine. But if you don't, you can create so many different things with this. But just frame that lovely stamp.
I think what also works well with the papers that you can see there. Now, that looks absolutely stunning. Now, it would also look stunning, instead of doing your red mats and layers, say you've done it with the pink, or you've done it with that baby pink, or the mint green, all the pattern, the colours within the paper pads are going to work with the cardstock that you get, hence why it's put together. So nothing stops you from going down that road of the mint if you want to, or of course the pinks.
Now, I've die cut quite a few more than the one that I showed you, but this is just to add a little bit more of a decorative part with that red. Those love hearts are just absolutely exquisite, and I think I'll pop a couple just behind there as well. So let's go in and this is literally now, I'm just taking the pieces just to finish this off, but again, the collection itself is just glorious. It really is. Absolutely love this.
It's the amount that's packed in the box.
Yes, there is a lot in there.
So much.
Absolutely. So then I'm just going to finish off now by simply adding, like I said, little extra embellishments just into your card making. I mean, I've already thought about a scrapbook page with this, especially with my gorgeous little grandkiddies. But that's what you can be doing. You can, you can add your layers. In fact, I'm going to add another layer just onto there. I think once you've got this home, I don't think it's going to be one of those collections where you think, I ain't got a clue what to do. No. I think it's going to be one of those collections that you just run and run with. So many lovely things that you can do with this. I absolutely adore it. Like I said, we have seen a sneaky peek of what Sara has already planned, because before she went away, she actually started planning this in terms of her demos. But again, I'm just going to add, let me see if I can find a foam pad. Oh, the foam pad.
Because I know that she's tried to put a little bit of a different take on some of her demos as well, just mixing it up that little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to go in with that one, another foam pad just onto this one. And she says she thinks she's used enough, but I throw everything but the kitchen sink sometimes at my demos. I don't know about yourself, Craig. It's learning when to stop. Oh, we've got to do a vote, haven't we, as well? Look at me. I do it all the time. I get carried away. You should rein me in. You should literally rein me in, because I get carried away all the time. Never know when to stop.
No, we don't want to rein you in. And joking aside, though, this is one of those, for me anyway, speaking for myself here, I feel as though you can go to the next level with it. If you want to keep adding that little bit more, it works. You know, sometimes you can find that, oh, it's maybe a bit too much. But because the images within the stamps or the dies are very sophisticated, and then you've got some of those papers, some are subtle, but some are bold, you get, it's that nice in between where you can go to town on how much you put on it.
Yep, and Debbie's learning to stop, you've got to stop, but I'm not. I'm just going to add a couple of little bit more pieces to it, Craig, just because I can.
You can.
So let's go into this side, and I'll bring just a couple just coming down. Instead of having it going upwards, I'm going to go sideways and downwards. But again, just absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous collection. I am going to stop, as I would say to my gorgeous Safi. Literally, you can have a lot of fun, and of course the inside of your card can look just as gorgeous as the outside. So that is that beautiful Sent with Love. I spent a little bit more time on that one. What I will do, Craig, is I'll just bring in, because I realise we've kind of gone a little bit, I get carried away. Let me move these out of the way. So we'll get the vote started, shall we?
Go for it.
So number one was the first one that I showed you, using those, that postage stamp is just divine. So that's number one. And then number two is the one you've just seen me doing now. So that's number two. 1 or 2, you decide.
Let's go for it. Shadiah, this is stunning. Michelle, such pretty papers. Miriam saying lovely card, Debbie. Donna's saying that card is beautiful. Dorothy's saying beautiful card, Debbie. Jean Marie is saying stunning, Debbie. Carletta saying beautiful card, Debbie. Pamela saying gorgeous card, Debbie. And Michelle, and that's for you on YouTube, is saying love the double envelope. Good idea, Debs. It really is. And talking about ideas, we'll have another quick through as to what you are going to be getting once it launches on Wednesday. But here is some additional ideas that you can then be creating. I mean, I love how the mint just works so well together. This one could be a card front, but it's actually been made using the envelopes. So maybe you've got your envelope pockets in there for little gifts if you want to, photos, memorabilia, you can do that. And then going down the road with the brown tones, with the reds, Miss You. Not necessarily Valentine's theme, but you've got that Miss You feel. What about heat embossing? Going in with that gorgeous stamp that Debbie was using there, doing some heat embossing. Going in chunky with your matte layers and using that sort of kind of Polaroid photo outline with your rose. I mean, that one there, there's a Z-fold card that Debbie was talking about. that we can see here with the actual 3D embossing folder. Then you've also got the panel heart stencils. And in actual fact, the die cut hearts work really well within the aperture of the heart stencil. So it's all been designed perfectly together, as you would know and expect. There's one combining the papers and the card and the panel with the dies and the stamps. Absolutely beautiful. So that is some ideas that you've got here. Don't forget you've got all your card blanks as well that make a minimum of 12 cards. You've also got all of your 8x8 paper. So you're getting 24 sheets, 8 designs, 3 of each. You're getting your cardstock as well, where you're getting 6 colours, 4 of each. You're getting 6 metal charms, 3 designs, 2 of each. You're getting your 3 reels of ribbon. Each of these are 1.5 metres long. You've got your 3D panel embossing folder, 7x2. You've got all of these gorgeous stamps, these ones here, 13 of them. Then you've also got your dies. Now 22 dies, now 2 of them are slightly too big for your Gemini Mini. All the rest would go through your Mini, no problem whatsoever. You've got your heart panel stencil, 4x6. You've got your Je t'aime, 4x4 stencil. You've got your white cardstock as well, 8x8 in size. You've got those here, 8 of them. You've got your 8 craft cards as well, which are 8x8. And then last but by no means least, 100 gems. You've got 3 sizes. You've got red, you've got blue, you've got silver as well. All of that is coming in with your Sent with Love collection. It is launching this Wednesday with Sarah and Ben, the 25th. That's when you can get your hands on the collection. But do make sure you tune in to Wake Up Call that day with Corin. That'll be your first chance to see it and get it. And then you know that it's going to be winging its way to you. Right, demo of the show goes to number 2, Debbie.
Do you know, it would have been really hard because I wouldn't have known which to have chosen.
I wouldn't have.
Because they're all, and every single project that I know you're going to work with, you're going to absolutely love. I've adored working with this, and thank you, Charlotte, for allowing me to get a little bit more creative because I always go off a kilty. Bless the little heart. But yeah, thank you very much. It's just a gorgeous collection. I know you're going to love. It's just as much as we all love it. And it is, like Craig said, it's not just... It's come out around, probably around the right time for Valentine's, which of course it would do with the heart theme. But this is a collection that is just because you want to send something to someone with a bit of love thoughts behind it. It's a beautiful collection, gorgeous papers, gorgeous elements in there. The hardware alone are going to last you a lifetime. It's just a gorgeous, beautiful collection. And please do tune in when you can purchase it with Corin first with the Wake Up Call. She's going to give you a sneaky peek. Almost like, she'll not let me say, it's like a bit of a warm pack for Sarah, who's just dying to get started with it. It's going to be a great, great day, that one. It really is. Absolutely.
It really is indeed. It is, and once again, so that's going to be this Wednesday coming. Right, we've got one more live show to go on this Sunday, and it's going to be a 2-hour show with myself and Debbie, where we're going to be having a second look at the past week. That's why it's called Second Chance Sunday. Now, we have had incredible deals. We've had incredible products. This whole week is all about being getting organised with the thanks and help to Totally Tiffany. Well, you've still got an abundance of deals still available. Many have sold out, but we do still have lots and lots available. So you can then, of course, check out your website, crafterscompanion.co.uk.com.eu. So whether it's some of the items that we've been showcasing today with our glue school, maybe, of course, then it's going to be that later on. And I say later on, that is then just an overall look at this past week on Crafters TV. So maybe there has been something that's taken your fancy during the week, but you've thought, I don't know whether I should go for it or not. Come back and we'll have another look at the product and the deal in Second Chance Sunday. Maybe you're just going to change your mind on this Sunday. Well, evening, afternoon, morning, depending wherever you are. Right, if you are watching live, we will be back in a good few hours' time, 6 o'clock here in the UK, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Time. So hopefully you will be nice, you'll be relaxed, you'll be chilled, you'll be crafting away and come and join us live. Myself, Debbie, we're going to have Charlotte, I think Jamie will be in at that point as well, and we'll still have, of course, Jake. So have a lovely few hours and we'll see you live in a few hours' time. Bye.